Alex Kearns died thinking he owed hundreds of thousands for stock market losses on Robinhood. People really need to be educated in high school on bankruptcy law, even if he did owe that money. A. Wait till the debt actually lands on you. B. Call a bankruptcy/debt counseling service. Debt is fixable, negotiable. Always remember this. Edit, remember even damage to your credit is only temporary. If it's time to file a consumer proposal or file for bankruptcy, then delaying that pain is only prolonging the pain. Get good advice from somewhere and start your road to financial recovery sooner rather than later. And some legislator is going to use this story as a reason to restrict retail traders and only allow the big boys of Wall Street to use options and margin. To people not reading, he wasn't even in the negative. He tried to call Robinhood to clear things out, but they don't have instant support. If he was allowed to liquidate his positions, he would probably be on the positive. The guy literally died because of poor GUI and panic. This is the scenario that old brick and mortar Wall Street firms have used to justify catering to high net worth individuals. If they open the doors to everyone, lower commissions that drive larger transaction values, and fail to do proper know your customer research, they expose themselves to lawsuits and regulatory liability. Throwing the doors open is one way to change the system, but people will get hurt. Edit. Wow, logged in at lunch and found a lot of different interpretations. Maybe this will clear it up by people will get hurt. I mean that they will make mistakes and suffer negative consequences, not that we should lock people out of their own protection. I'm all for free and open access to investing, but I worry the establishment will point to this story as an example in favour of their continued gatekeeping. This whole story, while tragic, has less to do with actual trading or brokering as it does with mental stability. I mean, any experienced trader would have known that his option spread position was covered with a max loss. Even if one leg gets exercised, you can close the other leg to cancel it out. But instead of taking a minute to breathe and ask for advice or research his options, the poor kid panicked and took his own life due to the fear of having his future ruined. He didn't even wait for things to get bad, just jumped to the conclusion that his life was over. He sent an email in the middle of the night asking for information about what he owed. It took them about a day to get back to him and say he didn't actually owe anything, but at that point he was already dead. His parents insist taking less than a business day to respond to his email was unacceptable, but that's preposterous. I'm sorry they lost their son, but they want someone to blame and it's not Robinhood. Horrible what happened here. Suicide is never an option, but can we be honest and put the blame on the kid? He's an adult and made decisions. Financial decisions he misunderstood because he was not educated enough, and life decisions no one should do. Several people use options on Robinhood and don't commit suicide. Should we blame beer companies for all beer related deaths? As much as I would want the parents to win and be compensated due to my sheer hate towards Robinhood, Alex just didn't know what he was doing. He reached out to support during the late night/early morning and did his deed the next day. Way too fast for the parents to directly blame Robinhood, in my opinion, though I truly wish they the best. The moral of the story is stop being so damned impatient with tech support. Give them a day to sort your issues. Also, suicide is never the answer. Can someone explain to me how this is Robinhood's fault? I know nothing of stonks, but I feel like if you're down 750k, even if you're actually not down 750k, it's because you're playing a game you don't know how to play. So no one is claiming that Robinhood did anything wrong. The adult male just freaked during the time between something executing and the funds being available. I feel bad for anyone who takes their own life, but since Robinhood did nothing wrong and didn't even screw up anything, why should they have to pay this man's parents any money? While I question Robinhood giving him permission trade options, He had barely begun the process of resolving the issue. He had parents who could help him as well. He wasn't alone and being dragged to jail. Suicide sucks and I feel horrible for the family, but there had to be more issues going on. A rational person would work through this a bit longer before taking their life. I'm all for going for Robinhood right now in light current events. That company deserves to be gutted. But I believe this sets a dangerous level of non-accountability on the investor's part and on the parents for not educating their son on what exactly he was getting himself into. Misinformation or not, there is a reason the incredibly wealthy gamble with other people's money. It's a risky game to play. Wow, this is terrible. Very sorry for the family. But dude killed himself when he didn't get an answer within 24 hours. I work in customer service and it's amazing to me the expectations people have. Customer emails at 4:15 on a Friday. Our office closes at 4:30. Customer emails again at 8:15 on Monday. Our office opens at 8. I emailed you guys on Friday and never got a response. What's going on? When you buy credit or debit spreads and someone exercises the short options is the ones you sold, your account can look real low. But in fact, the options you purchased protect you. You need to call and exercise them. How long would it have taken to show him that he wasn't actually 730 grand in debt? I get killing yourself over such a huge debt. I do, but he couldn't wait a bit to explore options. An article I read said he had a stockbroker in the family, brother-in-law. Tragic as hell. Wow. Can you lose the lawsuit because your customer who agreed to everything didn't know what they were doing? I hate this kid killed himself, but it seems like blaming Robinhood here isn't really the right thing. Hell, I've been watching options for years and refuse to buy them because I don't understand them, but I do understand the risk. Damn, it sucks he killed himself. Even if you had to pay 750k at the end of the day, it is money, and just living with the debt is better than killing yourself. He missed out on future endeavours of mankind because he had debt, but also without sounding rude, but I doubt his friends or family would see my comment. It's not really Robinhood's fault he killed himself. I mean, he didn't even wait a week. Seems like he already was suicidal and this was the turning point. It's like suing McDonald's because you tripped outside. Horrendous story, truly, but large companies almost never get back to people within 24 hours and app glitches happen all the time. I can see this settling so the story goes away, but I can't see any way a court finds Robinhood culpable for Alex's death. So when someone commits suicide for gambling at a casino and losing it all, we close down the casino, right? I get where his parents are coming from, but if you think about it, allowing 20-year-olds and younger to gamble on the stock market is not that much different than allowing them to sign up for student loans. They are not allowed to buy alcohol or purchase a rental car, but for some reason we expect them to be fiscally responsible, or maybe we don't. Maybe our economic system is fueled on the foolish decision making of young adults as well as their parents. Installing reasonable regulatory controls would mean less money for those at the top, and we can't be having that. This is a tragedy, but I really fail to see how this is Robinhood's fault. This kid was clearly not mentally well. If we allow these kind of lawsuits, regulators and brokers will simply restrict access to whoever isn't a professional trader under the guise of we need to protect you from yourself. I get the family is hurting, but there is no way in hell Robinhood is liable for someone killing themselves because they misunderstood what the app was showing. Parents, he had a good home life. Kid, doesn't talk to parents about any financial troubles and kills himself instead. If I kill myself every time customer support took more than one day to answer, I would have committed suicide dozens of times. I sympathise, but deciding within a day that suicide is your only option, only solution, seems like a knee-jerk reaction to me. It's better to live broke than to be dead. Don't do suicide, folks. Sounds to me like a mistake was made. He reached out, they said, "We will contact you soon," and the guy decided that patience was not his virtue. If they responded the next day saying there was an error and that he didn't owe anything, which according to the article they did, then this isn't a case of bad corporation versus the little guy. It's a case of the little guy compounding bad decisions instead of just waiting for the answers he requested. This is only going to result in Robinhood's lawyers destroying his image in the minds of his loved ones as they prove that mental instability was the culprit. They are going to drag every mentally unstable thing he's ever done into the public. I'm sorry, but Robinhood, while in the news recently because of the WSB stuff, isn't to blame for this. The uninformed kid jumped to conclusions and committed suicide. I'm not buying any blame resulting from Robinhood negligence. I'm tired of our society getting the idea that we need to be cradled and prevented from making choices that are not in our best interest. This kid didn't have a clear understanding of what he was into, which in turn caused him to make an insane choice to take his own life. Nothing more. Stop blaming everyone else for your stupid choices and start blaming yourself. It's sad that he chose to take his own life, but let's be real, this is nobody's fault but his own. We all have to be responsible for our own actions in life and not try to throw the blame at someone else. He made an impulsive decision in the heat of the moment and it turned out to be suicide, which is never the answer. Tragic story, but it's not the app's fault he committed suicide. Maybe I'm in the minority here, but I don't believe Robinhood should be at fault here. This guy committed suicide. The cardinal rule for most investors/investments is only invest in what you understand. This would go double for futures. I feel sorry for Alex and his family, but he didn't understand what he was doing. As much as I dislike Robinhood, it's not really their fault. The stock market isn't a casino, and even then the casino is not responsible for your losses when you put it all on red/black and lose. Read a book on options and paper trade before you get in way over your head. This is unbelievably sad. I'm also not sure what the action item would even be here. Robinhood resolved it in less than 24 hours, but the kid didn't give them a chance to fully respond. I think there is a mental stability component at play here, which makes it even more heartbreaking. Why do they have any right to sue? Robinhood didn't even say they were coming to collect the money. While sad, he made a choice that the average person in his position would never make. Maybe Robinhood shares some blame in predatory pushing of options as good trading strategy, but not much in my opinion. So the dude took a gamble, not knowing what he was doing or getting into. Panicked when support wasn't fast enough for him, then committed suicide by jumping in front of a train, potentially traumatizing the train driver. It's a sad situation, but I don't see why Robinhood needs to pay the family over it. I'm not saying they should, but the train driver suing his estate to cover the cost of therapy makes more sense to me than this.